Dade County Public Library, and today I am doing part of the What's Cooking program that we do, and I am going to be featuring books that are for Asian cuisines, mostly Japanese. And one of the books, actually two of them, are actually done in the comic book format, graphic novels. Now this one is called Cook Korean, and it is by Robin Ha, who is a Korean American. And what she did was do it all in comics, which is a lot of fun. Now what she starts with is, in her introduction, she has her 7 key ingredients for Korean cooking, and all of these items are available. Now you might have to go to the Korean store, which is on Cherry Street, just a couple of blocks east of Tyndall Parkway, which is where I go. And we buy our red chili paste, especially from there. But you can get soy sauce from any market. You can get fish sauce from various Asian markets here in town. Soybean paste, that's the miso paste. Again, the Asian markets will have that, and things like that. And these are some of the things that you must have if you want to do Korean cooking. And one of the things I love about Korean cooking is kimchi. It's the pickled cabbage, and she has a nice, easy kimchi recipe in here. This shows you step by step how to make your own kimchi at home. We're going to be trying this. We have to buy a good head of the cabbage, the one-bok cabbage. So we're going to try making our own kimchi once we run out of the kimchi that we bought from the Korean store. But she also covers various noodle dishes, other kinds of pickles, salads. Oh, the bean sprout salad is another favorite of mine. It is mild. There's no chili in it unless you want to put it in. But it's part of what the Koreans call bancha, which is all the assorted vegetables, salads, and pickles that accompany a meal. And so you find all kinds of foods in here, including bulgogi, if you know what bulgogi, and this is a raw fish salad bowl, all kinds of things in here. So this is a wonderful book, and it's in the library. Cook Korean. Now another one that's in a comic book format is Let's Make Ramen. And this one actually shows you step by step how to make your own ramen noodles. So you don't have to buy the dried package if you want to make it yourself. Now again, they do have several pages for what they call their pantry. So these are some essential things that you should have on hand if you're going to make your own ramen at home. And some of these, are very specific to Japanese. The sancho peppers, the shichimi tongarashi, which is the 7 flavored chili peppers. You can get dry ramen noodles if you don't want to make it from scratch, because it is kind of a lot of work. And then this is just a picture of what they call the master ramen bowl. So it says that you have for each serving 12 ounces of the broth, 5 ounces of the noodles, and as many toppings as you want, which I like. And again, it shows you, pretty much step by step how to make all the different ingredients for making ramen. And here's the making the noodles. And we do have one of these pasta presses, and my husband has made homemade noodles before. So I think I'm going to get him to try making some of this for me. But that is Let's Make Ramen. Again, another book in our library. Now, the Blue Zone's kitchen is not only Asian. This covers recipes from various regions around the world called Blue Zones, which is where people tend to have very long, healthy lives. And a common thing with these people is that they tend not to eat a whole lot of meat. They eat more vegetables and fruits and just live a very healthy lifestyle. But one of the regions in here is Okinawa, which is right now part of Japan. And what I love about this book is that for each region, they give an introduction to the place and the people, and just talk about, how they basically live their lives and what kinds of things that they do. And you can see, here's a very old ba-chan. Okay, she's in her 90s. And then just showing like the kinds of housing that they live in. Just beautiful, beautiful shots. And one of the recipes in here that I marked that I want to do is called the Okinawan champuru. And this is, champuru is basically Okinawan word for all mixed up. And so you basically have your tofu for your protein. And then this one is the tofu with veggies. This is the 10-minute veggie champuru. And you just have different kinds of greens and julienne carrot, and you can use spinach for the greens. There's a Chinese vegetable that my husband and I love called choy sum, which this actually looks more like the choy sum to me. But if you have good fresh spinach or fresh choy sum, even one bok cabbage or bok choy, any of those things would work really well in this. And it's a very easy, quick stir fry. And they just have lots of different things in here that what they call the 3-minute Okinawan rice bowl actually uses somen noodles. And again, you can buy those at most Asian markets. And it's again just somen noodles. You have some sesame oil, tofu again, and you can have either garlic chives or green onions and a little soy sauce. And you just basically quick cooking the somen noodles, draining them, and then sauteing your tofu or stir frying it, and adding the onions or chives. And actually you could probably add any other vegetables you want to, but it sounds like a really good, fast meal. So that's just one of the couple of the recipes that you'll find from Okinawa, and they are basically all vegetarian. So this is a great book, and you can find this here in the library. This is also from Italy and Greece, and even in California. Now, one of my favorite things about Japanese food is what we call the Izakaya. So like when you go to Japan, don't go only to those fancy restaurants or to the sushi places. Go to the bars, go to the little Izakaya places. They're like a bar and grill. And think of the Spanish tapas, the small dishes. And you have a variety of small dishes. That is basically Izakaya. And this book has 120 classic bar bites from Japan. And they include all kinds of things, including vegetables. And what's really neat in here is that one of them, I didn't even know I was doing an izakaya dish because my mother taught me how to do this. And it's actually based on a Korean dish, and it's a spinach namu with soy sauce and sesame. And basically, I do this. This is my favorite way of preparing spinach at home when I want just a simple dish. And all you need to do is basically blanch your spinach. Just blanch. Don't leave it in the boiling water for more than not even a minute. And then you take it out, you drain it, you squeeze it, and you get all the moisture out. Then you can just kind of cut it, and then you just top it with a little sesame oil, maybe some toasted sesame seeds, and I use a little bit of soy sauce on that, and so easy. And it's a really nice light vegetable dish. And just look at the gorgeous pictures in here. And they just have all kinds of different things, even like tandoori chicken bites. Then they go into things like gyoza. Most people, you do see that at some of the sushi bars and sushi restaurants here. And one other thing that I really love in here is on page 117. There's what we in Japan call curry rice, curry, but it's Japanese style curry. And the book has a recipe to do it from scratch. And the classic Japanese curry can be beef or chicken, and usually it's potatoes, carrots, and onions. But you can toss any kind of vegetables in there that you like. Now you could follow this, or you can do my cheating trick. I buy the S&B Golden Curry. This is my favorite. And my husband and I always use this. And so it tastes exactly like the curry rice that we ate in Ueno Park in Japan. So, and you can add whatever vegetables you like. I usually throw in fresh green beans and maybe some fresh bell pepper along with the carrots and onion and potatoes. And I usually like to do chicken, but you can do beef, you can do shrimp, or you can just make it strictly vegetarian. But this is an easy way of making your curry rice. Now the izakaya also is featured in this manga series. This is Otherworldly Izakaya Nobu. It's a fairly recent series. It just started a couple years ago. And it is a fantasy series, but it features so much food. And when I started reading this, and the focus is on the food that these people are eating. It's set in sort of an alternate fantasy version of late medieval Europe. And the place that this is in is like Germany. But somehow, in the middle of this place, down a deep, dark alley, there is Izakaya Nobu, a 20th century Japanese restaurant. And this is the young waitress in the series. And they serve classic Japanese izakaya food to these late medieval Europeans. And every story in here focuses on one particular dish along with whatever fantasy is going on. We do have I believe the first 5 volumes of this series here in the library. So if you wanted to try something a little bit fun that's connected to food but is fictional, try this. Like I said, it is one of my new favorite manga series right now. And that is What's Cooking, Asian style.